Do you use projectors for sewing? I do. That's my Vivi image. They don't make them. You can't buy them anymore, but that's the one I use. When I started sewing, all I had was the ability to use tissue paper patterns. But in recent days, we have PDF files for pattern pieces, and it's great because you can print them out and reuse them, and it's wasteful. It is kind of wasteful. But now we have projectors for sewing, which don't require paper and don't really require printer ink. So it saves us a lot of money. But it's a fairly new technology. So what do you do if you have a PDF file that you can print from but you can't project with? Well, in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to take that shitty file and turn it into something usable. So let's go. All right, let's get started turning this file into something that we can use with our projector. So open up Adobe Illustrator, make sure that you've downloaded your copy of the file. When I bought mine, I did the 200 inch and I had hoped, you know, it would work, but it doesn't. There's no margins. We will add those margins. It's easy. So I'm going up to, not you, File, Open, and I just downloaded this today. And it opens right up. If you have a problem with yours not opening right up because the file is locked, you can open it up in Adobe Reader or Acrobat and save it, and you should be able to save it as a new document and then be able to open it up that way. Once you have your file open, if you bought the 200 inch file or whatever, it's made to be printed. It's not made to be projected. But if you got a file and you're working for your projector, open it up. Here we go. This is what mine looked like. It's right up against the edge of the white you would call your paper. Right up against there. There's no way I'm going to be able to move that where I need to. So we have to do something about it. I have the selection tool selected, and I select something from my layer. It's going to select everything. See how it's all blue? And if you don't have your layers window open, go up to Window and then Layers and make sure that's open. You also want to make sure your stroke window is open because you want your stroke to be like 5 points. Otherwise, it's a pain in the butt unless you got really good eyes. We want to be able to move these pieces around. So we right click and we release compound path. This is going to make it so that we can move everything, which is kind of good and kind of bad. So now we want to kind of lock everything back together. So with my selection tool still selected, I'm just going to go and I'm going to try to grab these individually and then Command G, which is group, or right click. Well, now it says ungroup, but if I hadn't grouped them, it would say group. And group them back together. That way when you're moving these around, all your markings and everything stays exactly where it's supposed to be. You definitely don't want to mess with the scale. If you're concerned about the scale, you can check your scale. So this is 10 centimeters. I work in inches, but you can just type in 10 centimeters and it'll convert for you. Huzzah. Ta-da! Scale's good. Okay, so this is going to take me a little while, probably take you a little while. I'm going to speed this video up. Yeah, and let's group all of our pieces back together. All right, so now our pieces are all just pieces together. And we still have to solve our problem of this weird piece of paper. It's not gonna work. I mean, we can probably make it work, but let's make this easy. So let's go to artboards. If you don't have artboards, go to Window and alphabetical order, artboards, open it up. And this little guy, double click, I like my artboards 200 inches by 200 inches, even though my projector doesn't do that much. I like to be able to scroll. Okay, so when it comes to projectors, you want your lines really thick and dark. So highlight all these, stroke, 5. Yeah. If you want to go through your pattern list, it gives you inside of the pattern which pieces are cut with your main and which pieces are for cardboard and which piece will be for that support system on the inside that you put that plastic tube in that goes over your coat rack. By the way, the coat rack that I got didn't work. So you could do that, and that's actually what I did when I did mine because I like to be super organized like that. When you're doing this, you can also make your own labels if that helps you too. And now that they're all their own pieces, you can move them around wherever you want. So put them where it makes sense for you. You know, projecting is supposed to make our lives easier, so make your life easier. So here I have my grid, and we'll turn it off so you can see. So I divided them up. So this is the base, and I put them kind of in a position where I knew visually it would look like they would go together. So from the top, so here's your neck. It's right here. This piece right here covers the top of the neck, and then this is right here. This cup is here, and then down the front. See? It's nice, right? Sides, this is the bottom, cardboard stuff, and this is the inner support stuff. Also the armhole cover, I accidentally put over here. It needs to be cut in Maine, but I caught it. When you have everything where you need it, you can put a grid on here. You wanna know how to make a grid? It's pretty easy. Let's create a new layer first. So we'll go down here to this plus, and we'll add a new layer. I like my grid to be 36 inches because that's how my mat is, and it's just easier to make a square because we're making squares. Let's make sure that square has the right size stroke, and it does. With that selected, we'll go to Object, Path, Split into Grid, and we want 36. 36. That's going to give us our 1-inch grid, and voila. If you'd like to rename your layers, just double click. And then when you want to save, you'll go Save As, and then whatever you want to call it. Ta-da. If you want to lock your stuff, you can go over here, type in a password if you want to. But that's all there is to it. It's easy. It's easy to correct any PDF file that isn't the best for projecting. It's not that hard if you have Adobe Illustrator. There's other programs, but I don't know how to use those, but this is pretty easy. So I think that's about it. I hope you found this quick how to make a projector file tutorial useful. I hope I covered everything. If you have any more questions about how to make this, leave them in the comments below, and I can either update this video or make a new one with other tips and tricks and whatnots. And have a great one. Bye.